So all the plaster on all my mountain should be dry and set by now, so it's time to paint. Hello YouTubes, finally time to put some paint onto my new mountain, give it some depth, but you're probably wondering why have I got it on its side? So the first layer of paint is going to be a black wash, and the whole point of the black wash is to add shadow into all the little cracks and crevices. If I paint it from the top, potentially I could miss all the underside areas up there and up there, hence why it's on its side. So let me mix up some very diluted black paint. I don't want it to immediately stick to that and have big blotches of black. I want it to be quite a sort of grey black. So let me do that, and we will start with, I don't know, that bit. I now have my heavily diluted black paint, and I'm going to use these little spongy things to apply it. Don't panic about this, it really is just the very first stage. Haha, before we do that, there is something important we need to do. And that is, we're going to spray the area with water first so that the paint doesn't immediately soak in. This should help it disperse a little bit so that it's not quite so blotchy. But we'll just do one stage at a time, maybe do from that big crack up to there. Doesn't need to be soaking wet. Just wet enough that it doesn't immediately suck in all the paint. I know I sound like I know what I'm talking about, but I really don't. So it doesn't really matter what I do, I just want to cover this whole area. So I'll just splodge it all over the rocks. I'm not too bothered about doing the top surface at the moment. I'm going to do that slightly differently, because this whole area will have been manufactured, as in cut away by a big machine. So it's going to have like open wounds for like iron ore to drip down, which we're not going to have at the top bit of the mountain. So it will be done slightly different from this area. As I say, at the moment we're just trying to get the underside of the rocks unwhite. And I don't care if it runs up that way, because as I say, we're going to be doing the top bit slightly differently anyway. Now it does go on quite dark at first, but it does dry quite quickly and quite light, as you probably see already. But that's okay. I don't want it totally black. But it is important to get into every little crack down here where it's white, because that will stick out like a sore thumb. Yeah, I can see little bits of white down there that it's not getting to. Just run that down. Might need a couple of layers. But you know what, even just with the black wash, it's starting to look more like a rock. And I don't want it too uniform either, as he continues to try and make it uniform, but you get the idea. So I will finish this little bit, and then I will soak the rest of the rock face, and I'll cover the entire lot with this black wash. We'll let it dry, see if it needs another coat. So that's our first coat of black wash on, and I've got most of the cracks and crevices, but I think I'm going to give it another coat. However, I'm going to flip it up straight, and then we can do the mountainside at the same time. So let's start at the top, since it's all going to run down anyway, and we can chase it all the way down the mountain. or down the back of the mountain as well. I love how the paint just highlights all the little cracks and crevices and just follows the natural streams, the natural course of things, you know. I just don't want obvious runs, that's all. Don't worry about it looking really dark. We're going to be putting different colours over the top of this anyway. And again, it will dry much lighter than it looks at the moment. Oh yeah, loving it. So let me finish the whole top end of the mountain and I'll put another coat on the rock face at the cut. So that's all my black wash on. I'm fairly happy with that. Now, this section here is going to be mostly grass, except for the likes of those rocks. So they need a wee bit more colour. What have I got there, there, there? Oh, there's one down there too. This will be grass at either side of the rock, but I think the grass is only going to come up to about here. So it'll be grass, trees, 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 less grass, and then just rock up there. Yeah, I don't know what else to do. I might put some moss around these rocks here that also need a wee bit more colour. Mostly rock, trees here, trees, trees, trees. So this bit here that's flat, well, not flat, but you know what I mean, it's not got rock face on it, that'll be getting painted a sort of earthy colour. So what is next? Now I'm going to add some colour variation to the rock face itself, and I'm going to use the leoparding technique. I am going to try these 3 colours. First one is called Champagne Pearl. Don't think we needed the pearl, but whatever. And these are all diluted by about a bit more than 50%, more water than paint. This one is tan. So I'm going to do those 2 first, and then I've made a sort of rust colour, at least as close as I can get to rust colour without going out and buying one that says rust. So the procedure for this is going to be wetting the surface again, because I don't want the paint to be spotty. I mean, it is leoparding, but you don't actually want spots. So I want to wet the area, splodge on some spots, and then use a separate brush that's wet again, quite a big soft one, just to kind of merge it all together. That's what I did with the back wall, but I went too mad with the colours, so let's take it easy this time. I'm going to leave the rust colour to the end because I want that to be over the other colours. Right, let's give it a shot. As before, we'll start from this crack and just go over to here for now. It should be plenty. Let's go with the light colour first. So we're just going to splodge it. here and there. Okay. We'll get our clean brush. In fact, what I think I'll do is I'll do the dark colour as well. Well, we've got the surface all wet. I might have diluted these a little bit too much, but you know what, trial and error. Let's see how it looks. These rocks were quite dark anyway, so I don't mind if it lightens it up a fair bit. Yeah, I think I maybe went a wee bit mad with the diluting. But hey, we're here to learn, right? You know what, I'm going to let that dry, see what it's like. Because I don't know if it's going to dry lighter or darker. I know the black dried lighter, but I think this might dry darker. See in 5 minutes. Well, it's been 5 minutes, and I don't know if you can see, but it's actually sparkly. So the champagne pearl was a terrible idea. So I'm just going to try some espresso, which is really just the dark brown, and I've diluted it much less than before. I will, of course, still need some water. Let's try it on this bit here. I'm just going to do one colour at a time this time, because they all just merged together and it became really light. Alright, let's see. Okay, try some wetness. Before it dries in a blob. I need to dry my brush a little bit, so a wee bit on the wet side. Oh, still wet. Need to get a kitchen towel. Dry that off. I don't want big drips all over it. Oh, I'm already preferring that colour. Okay, again, we'll wait 5 minutes, see how that looks. Because once I'm happy with the actual colour, we can proceed. Full speed. Yeah, I'm liking that. It's drying quite nice. Right, 5 minutes. Okay, 5 minutes has elapsed. A squirt of water. I'm going to go with a lighter brown or tan. Wet brush at the ready, because I really don't want this to be too bright, because it turned that just a bit too bright. So just small spots on the high spots here and there, I think. Let's try that. Bit of water. I think I'll just dry my brush. Oof, see what happens if you're not fast. It does blob up. We don't want it blobbing up, because that doesn't look natural, does it? Okay, that's not too bad actually. Let me just dry the brush and give it another wiper-inny. Okay. Yes, little bits of rock are falling off, but that's okay. That's natural. I should save them up and put them next to the track, because that's what would happen. So I'm going to have one more colour to put on. I might as well do that just now actually. And it's this rusty colour, and I do kind of want it to run down the cracks here. So wish me luck in this one. A squirt of water just in case. Right, let's try it down here. Down there. Let's see, where else? A bit coming down there. A bit down there. And a bit down here. Don't want to go too mad with that. I don't want it to be in your face rust coloured. I just want corrosion over years, you know, iron ore in the stone that's just mixed with water and ran down the mountain. I know I sound like I know what I'm talking about, but I really don't. I'm making this up as I go along. I am going to wait for that to dry properly, and then we'll come back, and if all is good, I'll be doing the whole rock face like this. Okay, I think we're dry. So that is the light bit, which actually looks pretty good on camera, but it is really sparkly in real life. And there's a bit that I've done that I kind of like. It doesn't even look that good in camera again, but there's more to add. But first, let me do everything. That does look nice, doesn't it? I wonder if I should just go the lighter colour instead of the... Oh, you know what, I'll do that. I'll do that colour. And if I don't like it, we can add more light, but I do still have to dry brush some white highlights on everything. Oh, for goodness sake, decisions. We'll go with that. Well, I think we're on the right track. I'm going to stop there before I go too mad with colours. And I actually kind of like how that's a lot brighter than that section. It just adds a bit of natural topography, I don't know, whateverography. I think it just looks a bit natural than it all being quite so conforming. Next thing I need to do, actually, I do need to do some dry brushing highlights on them, but I need to wait for that to dry. But I do want to take care of these rocks. They're kind of invisible now. So I'm going to choose a sort of slate colour to paint these because they're a wee bit dark and that one's a wee bit light. So I want them roughly the same sort of shade. And there will be grass going all around these to hide any discrepancies. I don't quite know why that one's so much darker than that. Maybe that was made from plaster of Paris and that one was made from hydrocal. That would explain it. Same with that one and some of them. Okay, let me wait for that to dry, then we'll do some dry brushing. That's a daft idea. I might as well finish painting all the rocks and then we'll do all the dry brush highlighting at the same time. Right, let's try this colour combination. I'm going to add a bit of suede and just a couple of drops of black, which gives me that sort of colour. And I've diluted it not quite 50-50, more paint than More paint than water. This might actually work quite nicely. I just want it a wee bit lighter, but I don't want it white, you know? Okay, let's see how that dries, and we'll come back when it's dry and see if we're going to do all the rocks like that, but I think this could be a winner. Okay, that dried a bit too light for my liking. I'm going to add a few more drops of black, go over it again. That looks exactly the same. I wonder if I should try even more black. If I go too dark, then we're going to be back to where we started, right? Yeah, I'll try a different rock. Get this one over here. Yeah, I think the problem is I made that one too light with the last coat, because I think that one's going to be okay. Yeah, trust me, I've still to add the dry brushing, which will highlight everything. So I will finish painting all these other little rocks for now, and I'll see it at the highlighting, dry brushing stage. Well, they look crap. So I remixed the paint and I've added some brown, and I think we're on to a winner this time. I know it looks really dark. It's actually got a hint of brown in it, which my stupid camera is not highlighting. So I think once that dries and we can add some white, that one's not been done yet. So that's actually just a black wash. That one's got a shade of brown. You might be able to see it there. Possibly not, maybe I'm just going mad. But that, I think, looks far better than that. That just looks like primer now. Garbage. Right, I'll be back when we're all looking like that. Okay, I am way happier now. I think they look much better, and they blend in more with this sort of colour as well. You can see there that that's definitely a sort of browny colour. I did do that one, it's just dried a different colour, which is fine. You want them a wee bit more random anyway. Still not sure what I'm going to do with this bit. So let's get the highlight brush out, the dry brush thing, okay? Now, I've noticed most people, pretty much everyone, uses white for the highlighting or the dry brushing. However, I just think it's a wee bit bright, a bit white actually. So I'm going to try using vanilla, which hopefully you can pick up in the camera. Is just a sort of off-white, and I think that would look a bit more natural than the bright white. But hey, if it looks crap, we'll go back to the white, okay? If you're new to dry brushing, it's just a way to create highlights on the edges of rocks. Well, it is in this case, where the sun would naturally be hitting the edges. And the dry brush aspect is you put a splodge on a softish sort of brush, but you want to wipe it off again. It just goes against all my instincts of being Scottish to put paint in a brush to then wipe most of it off. So you get almost none on. Don't be tempted to have a splodge of paint on there. Trust me, I've tried, it looks terrible. So pretty much dry, then you move over to your rocks. So let's try the top of these rocks up here. And here's the other thing I've noticed people that I think they're doing wrong. They basically do that all the way along the rocks up and down. But if you're simulating sunlight, then it should only be coming down the way. See, straight away, I can tell there's still too much paint in that brush. Less is more when it comes to this, okay? I think that'll be fine. And I'm actually really glad that I went with the off-white, because that looks plenty bright enough. And I'm only doing the top edges, don't do the underside, that would make no sense whatsoever. Working down the way. So I will continue with the whole lot. And I think this will have the best effect. See, I was getting carried away there. You only need a wee tiny bit. Yeah, I think this will look really good on the little rocks at the top, as he immediately goes to one of the little rocks at the top. Anyway, let me get all them done. Another step closer to completion. There you can see the effect of the dry brushing there. So those rocks that were very dark are now almost white, but it's purely because white up there, dark down there. And that's the effect we're looking for. I really don't know what I'm going to do with this section. I actually like it the way it is, but I don't think I can leave it like that. Don't know, might leave that open to debate. For now, I think I will paint all this flattish section around the rocks up to about this point, the base of the mountain itself, or the base of the summit. I'm going to paint that a dark brown because there's going to be grass and trees going on there, and that will highlight the rocks a little bit more. So I've mixed up a very dark brown, diluted it a little bit with water, because I don't want to lose all the lovely texture I've got here. And remember, this is all going to be getting covered with grass and trees, so it's really just a foundation so that you don't see the grey through the grass. And I'll be applying static grass throughout the whole area. So this is going to be fairly laborious for you to watch, so I will see you when I've painted everything brown up to the base of the summit. See you in a bit. So that's all the brown ground cover on. As I say, that's going to get covered with grass and trees up to the base of the summit. Now I need to tackle this. I think I'm going to just use maybe 3 different brown shades of brown wash, fairly dark. I do like these white streaks, but I don't know. Let's try the brown grey effect first, and I can always add in snow effects near the top, or maybe just go up to this for no. Let's wash the whole lot. Otherwise, I'll have a line across there. So I've made a dark brown wash, which is a bit lighter than that one. I'm just going to cover it and see how it looks. It's weird, this brown looks purple when it first goes on. And we can build up the layers and decide what we like, what we don't like. But you know what, if it turns out that the lighter stuff kind of, not exactly shines through, but you know what I mean. If it looks nice, I might not go too far with this, because I do like the way it looks. We'll see. Oops. Went a bit far with that. I'm going to have to soak that up with a bit of paper towel. That's okay. There will be trees at this bit anyway. It will hide any discrepancies. stupid gravity. Stay up there. Okay, let me finish this. Okay, let's wait for that to dry, see how awful it looks when it's done. Just in case, I don't want brown puddles. Okay, bring you back in a bit. Well, I think I'm happy with it. So I don't want to go too far tonight. I think I'm going to just leave it overnight, let everything dry. And then if we have to adjust it tomorrow, we can do that. You know what it's like, you stare at something too long and you can't see where it was before. So remember folks, I still have to add all the grass and the trees, so there's still a lot to come, but I think I'm going to stop there. Hopefully I'll come down in the morning and go, wow, that looks amazing, and won't want to do any more to it, but you know what it's like. You can always find faults with your own projects. Hopefully not though. So as I say, I'll let that dry. I still get the other half of the mountain to do, but if I'm happy with this, I'll replicate it in the other half. So that's it for now. This is Saturday night. Actually, it's early Sunday morning, and I've got a train show to go to down at St Thomas. Hopefully I'll get a nice big bag of goodies. See you very soon. Thanks for watching. Let me know what you think. Unless you think it's shit, in which case, don't bother. Bye for now.